Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we spill the hottest celebrity tea before it even cools down. Today, we're diving into the absolute chaos that went down yesterday on ITV's Lorraine when Colin Firth, yes, the actual Mr. Darcy, Oscar-winning legend Colin Firth, was reportedly asked to leave the set after things got incredibly heated with Lorraine Kelly herself. The headline exploded across social media. Colin Firth kicked off Lorraine Kelly's show after heated exchange, and within minutes Twitter was on fire. TikTok was flooded with reaction videos, and even the normally quiet British press couldn't hold back. People are calling it the most awkward morning television moment since Piers Morgan stormed off Good Morning Britain. But what actually happened? Why did calm, polite, never puts a foot wrong Colin Firth suddenly turn into someone who needed to be escorted out? Grab your tea because this story is wild from start to finish, and I've got every single detail, every quote, every backstage whisper that's come out in the last 24 hours. If you're ready for the full timeline, stay right here because you are not going to believe how quickly this interview went off the rails. Let's set the scene properly. It's Wednesday morning, 9:15 a.m. sharp. Lorraine is in her signature bright dress, smiling like the nation's favorite aunt. And Colin Firth is there to promote his brand new Netflix limited series called The Staircase remake. No, wait. Actually, it's a completely original thriller called Lockerbie, where he plays a grieving father searching for justice. Everyone expected the usual lovely chat, a bit of Pride and Prejudice nostalgia, some gentle laughs about his famous wet shirt moment, maybe a sweet story about his kids or dogs. Lorraine starts perfectly normally. Colin, lovely to see you, you look wonderful. And he smiles that shy smile we all love. The first 5 minutes are completely fine. They talk about filming in Scotland, how cold it was, how emotional the role is. Then Lorraine pivots to the classic morning TV questions, asking about his personal life, his marriage to Livia, how they manage with him being away so much. Colin answers politely, but you can already see he's a bit guarded. Lorraine, being Lorraine, pushes a little more, saying something like, "You've always been so private, but come on, give us one little story." And that's when the temperature in the studio starts to change. Here's where it all kicks off. Lorraine brings up an old interview from years ago where Colin apparently joked that he sometimes needs a break from being nice all the time, and she frames it in a playful way, saying, "So Colin, are you ever allowed to be grumpy, or does the world only accept perfect Mr. Darcy from you?" Most celebrities would laugh it off, but Cullen's face changes completely. He puts his cup of tea down very deliberately and says, "Actually, Lorraine, I've 35 years being asked the same 5 questions and I'm a bit tired of it." The studio audience does that awkward ooh noise. Lorraine tries to smooth it over with, "Oh, we love those 5 questions." But Colin keeps going. He says morning television always reduces actors to caricatures, that they want the fantasy version of Mr. Darcy forever, and never the real person. Lorraine laughs nervously and tries to move on, asking about the famous lake scene again. But Colin interrupts and says, "With respect, I've answered that question 10,000 times. Maybe we could talk about the actual work I'm here to promote." You can literally feel the frost through the screen. Now it gets really spicy. Lorraine, who is normally unflappable, says, "Well, Colin, people love that scene. It's iconic. It made you a hearth of overnight." And Colin fires back, "It made me a prisoner of one moment from 1995, and frankly, I'm bored of it." The audience gasps. Lorraine tries to keep it light, saying, "Oh, come on, every man wants to be a heartthrob." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the moment the internet says Colin lost it. He leans forward and says very calmly but very firmly, "Lorraine, not every man wants to be reduced to how wet his shirt was 30 years ago. Some of us have done other work. Some of us are tried to grow, and some of us are tired of smiling through the same nonsense every single morning show." Dead silence in the studio. Lorraine's smile freezes, and she says, "Right, well." And you can see the producer in her earpiece going into panic mode because they cut to a break 2 minutes early, which never happens on Lorraine. When they come back from the ad break, Lorraine apologizes on air, saying, "Welcome back. We're having a lively one this morning," trying to laugh it off, but Colin is clearly still annoyed. She attempts to ask a safe question about working with younger actors on the Lockerbie project, but Colin uses it as an opportunity to go full rant mode. He starts talking about how the industry treats older actors, how women get asked about aging and men just being grateful, while men get praised for the same thing. And then he drops the bombshell line that has been quoted everywhere. We'll spend our lives pretending to be other people, and then morning television demands we pretend to be the fantasy version of ourselves as well. It's exhausting. Lorraine tries to interrupt with, "But the viewers just want to see the real you." And Colin says, "This is the real me, Lorraine. The one who's had enough." At this point, the camera catches a producer literally waving from the side of the set, trying to wrap the segment. The moment everyone is talking about happens right at the end. Lorraine says, "Well, Colin, thank you so much for being so honest with us today," in that slightly passive-aggressive way only she can do, and Colin stands up, still mic'd, and says, "Actually, I think we're done here." He takes his mic off, places it on the coffee table, says, "Thank you for having me," with ice-cold politeness, and walks straight off set while the cameras are still rolling. Lorraine is left sitting there open-mouthed as the floor manager rushes on, and they cut to a pre-recorded segment about autumn fashion in record time. Social media explodes immediately. Colin Firth walk-off trends worldwide within 6 minutes, and clips of placing the mic down are shared millions of times with captions like, "The most British mic drop in history," and "Mr Darcy finally snapped." Within an hour, both camps release statements. Colin's publicist says Mr. Firth became uncomfortable with the direction of the interview and chose to end it. He has nothing but respect for Lorraine and her show. ITV's statement is basically, "Interviews sometimes run in unexpected directions, and we thank Colin for his time this morning." But behind the scenes, it's reportedly much messier. Sources say Lorraine was absolutely fuming in the dressing room, and that Colin refused to come back for the usual photo with the crew. Someone who claims to be a runner on the show posted on Reddit that Colin was perfectly lovely until the heartthrob questions started, and that Lorraine kept pushing even after being asked to move on. Meanwhile, Colin Firth fans are calling him a hero for finally saying what every actor thinks about morning TV, and Lorraine fans are calling him rude and ungrateful. The divide is savage. So where does this leave us? Colin Firth has spent decades being the definition of British restraint and charm, and in one 7-minute interview he completely shattered that image, and honestly, a lot of people are here for it. He's trending higher than he has in years. The clips are getting millions of views, and his new series is getting free publicity nobody could buy. Lorraine will be fine, she's survived worse, but you better believe next time she has a heartthrob on the sofa she'll think twice before bringing up 30-year-old shirt moments. The whole thing is peak British awkwardness mixed with long, overdue boundary setting, and I am living for every second of it. What do you think? Was Colin out of line, or was he completely justified? Drop your thoughts below because this drama is going to be talked about for weeks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss when Mr. Darcy loses his chill again. See you in the next one!